Can Cleveland have anything nice, Erik?
No, no, we can't. Just hit the thing.
Welcome to At the Office, Cleveland's home for sports talk that never clocks out. From the latest headlines to heated debates, we're diving into everything sports. It's your hosts, Noah and Erik.
Cleveland, what's up? How we doing?
Welcome into The Office, the show where we talk all things sports. I'm your host, Erik, joined by my co-host, Noah. You can join us at The Office as well. Send us a comment on YouTube, Facebook, or X, or you can call or text the show, 216-260-3433. That's 216-260-3433. Noah, 3 times in 1 week, man. You sick of me yet?
I am not sick of you whatsoever. We have hung out back to back days. One, not to do with the show. Monday to do with the show. Wednesday, always to do with the show. Life's good over here, man. I can't complain. I cannot complain.
Life is good. We saw a great Guardians game last night. Jose Ramirez is that guy, by the way. Anybody that says he's not is insane because he single-handedly won it for us.
He did single-handedly win it for us, and it has only gotten downhill because it's like 4-11 right now. I don't know what inning we are in to wrap up the game that is going on today, but it is not looking too good for the Guardians of the Land.
Yeah, I believe it's the 8th, and it does not look like a win. All right, let's get into it because we have a great show. We're talking a little Browns, of course, but also Guards and Buckeyes. We'll get to all of that, but first I want to start with 30-second takes. We talked last week about the women's pro soccer team coming to Cleveland and potential names of what they could be once they're here. Noah and I disagreed a little bit there. But now it's the men's term because Cleveland Pro Soccer is asking the community to help name the new team. Noah, I know you have strong opinions here. Do you have name suggestions? Put 30 seconds up and give me your take.
Well, yeah, there was a few options that came out. Did you not see them already?
I did.
Okay, do you want to go through them beforehand like we did last time so that way we can go into it, or do you want to just take our pick and then go?
Yeah, tell us what the options are. Go ahead. Since
All right,
you started rolling, just keep going.
the first option is Cleveland City SC, Cleveland City Soccer Club, and this is the little graphic they put together for that. The next one is FC Cleveland. This is the graphic they put together for that. What I've noticed with some of the men's names is they're a little bit more bland and not into like the heavy branding side like the women's teams are. Maybe a sign of you know, a potential call up from the league that the women are in now to the league, the major women's soccer league. Who knows? Next one, Port Cleveland Men's Club, which is an interesting one nonetheless. And the final one is Cleveland Forest City. Erik, I talked a lot, so I'm actually going to have you put your 30 seconds up if you don't mind. And we can roll with it that way. And because I'm having those tech issues on my end, you have to run the timer.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Let me just get into it. All right. We ready?
Yep, you can go for it.
All right. My take here is exactly as you said. They're a little bland. I'm not sure I like any of these options. My favorite of them was Port Cleveland. I don't like the men's team attached to that. That just sounds weird to me. I prefer to have like SC or FC instead. I like using the lake, like we talked about last time. Forest City's okay. I don't like Cleveland, Forest City. I'm not in love with any of these options, I gotta say.
That's fair. Can you throw up 30 for me real quick, too?
I can. Go ahead.
And your take for the women's team was Forest City FC. And I think that works here. So use it for the men's on this side and then use the emeralds for the women's on the other side. And then you have two great branding. I don't like the idea of using the same branding for both teams. So I hope that we don't have like an overlap type of situation. But I did say in the last time we talked about this, I did like the Forest City name. Give it to the men, give the emeralds to the women. That's my 30-second take.
Slight correction because I did enjoy Forest City and I like incorporating that, but I think my number one take was the sirens. I know you hated it, and that's where I mentioned we disagreed off the rip. I just like maybe it's not the sirens, maybe that doesn't work, but we sit on this big, beautiful lake and we don't incorporate it very well often enough. And I get it. We haven't incorporated it geographically because we have a big old stadium on it, soon to be gone. We have a big old airport that the top 1% uses and nobody else. So we don't utilize the lake well anyway, but it's really a part of our history of Cleveland and who we are as a city and why we grew so quickly. At one point, we were the fastest growing city in the world, if not just the country. I don't know, but I think the world.
Right.
I think we should incorporate those elements more.
I don't want to go back down the rabbit hole of arguing the siren's name or whatnot. My second favorite was
Just lake.
just Lake. I liked the port. What was it exactly again? I'm pulling it up one more
Yeah,
time.
Port
Port
Cleveland. I
Cleveland.
like that too. I just don't like the men's club part.
Neither do I. So maybe just Port Cleveland SC. But I still am in favor of Forest City. I think it's a very underrated nickname for the city of Cleveland, and we need to use it a little bit more. So why not with the fresh, new upstart in town? At least one of them has to take it. I feel like Forest City was our common ground with the women's name,
Yeah.
whereas to me, I'd rather use it for the men's and then give the women's the one that I want and not the Sirens.
Here's the problem. You have three new teams coming into Cleveland, all vying for new names. So who's to say that? Because I don't think it's decided that we're going to be the Rockers, right? Nobody said that officially. So
Right.
that could potentially be a new brand too. Maybe they want to go with Forest City.
They did tease. I don't know if you did. I send you about the orange, Eric.
I don't know.
The Cleveland WNBA official Twitter account did tease that one of the colors is going to be orange. So I don't know if that's a nod to us going back to the Rockers because we'll do orange and that Carolina blue, and then the Rockers naming. But they did tease one of the colors already and did say the name's not coming until 2026. So I like this slow tease that we got going on over there. So you're in favor, your be all end all is Port Cleveland then, just without the men's club?
Based on those options, yeah, I like Port Cleveland. I mean, I like Forest City too, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But yeah, Port Cleveland, the iconography there that you had as part of that video, I liked a lot. That was some of my favorite. I know it's just a big ship, and we don't really think of our port, of which, billions of dollars of trade actually does come in through.
Yeah, it's a
But we're
big
not
money maker
known.
for the city. Yeah.
Right, but we're not known for like the Port of Cleveland. No one really thinks of it much, but I think
Right.
it's a cool vibe that incorporates that lake, like I was saying.
I will say, and it seems that Cleveland Pro Soccer does have a good relationship with the North Coast Yard. They've had some events there in terms of just getting the community involved in soccer. And I do like that name for the tie because the North Coast Yard has become kind of like a new landmark in the area. For those who don't know, it's the park. They basically took a big parking lot that doesn't get used a bunch and turned it
Right.
into a park for the summer. It's really awesome over there. And they have a liquor license. So if you want to go get a beer and look at the water or, actually go play some sports, we still got to make it over there and play some pickleball, man, because they have
We
the space
do.
to do it. I do like that tie. I do think that the port and I think the lakefront area of Cleveland is slowly getting the recognition and honestly the complete deserved acknowledgement that it needs.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to go down this route, but as much as the city has fought the Browns leaving the lakefront, I think that's going to be a boon for those that actually live and play in Cleveland
For sure.
because I mean, they can do so much there where they haven't been able to. They've been kind of hamstrung. So it's exciting to see what that's going to develop into.
I agree, and I'm really excited to see what happens with all of these soccer teams. I say all of them like we're getting more than just a men's and a women's, but I am excited to see what Gina and company over at Cleveland Pro Soccer does because all of these videos, all of these little tidbits about asking us Clevelanders and the greater Northeast Ohio community about the name and all of that just gets me so excited. It's giving me goosebumps, man.
And it does feel like a trial for something bigger. I'm not necessarily sure that the men's could grow too much just because obviously we have Columbus,
Right.
which is a Haslam property right down the road.
Right.
But the women certainly could move up into that, as you said, that A level. Um, when we sell out and we have season ticket holders and we're doing well, I think that's something we could foresee as they open up more opportunities in the future.
For sure. I mean, we were one of the finalists to begin with for the Women's Pro League anyway, so I could see that for sure. I also could see some growth moving for the men's because they are MLS Next Pro. Um, that league continues to get more and more popular, but I'm with you for a majority of the take of the fact that Haslam has the crew down the road. Speaking of down the road, real quick, I know you probably want to move us on, but did you see we're getting a UFL team in Columbus this year?
I did. Well, you sent it to me, so yes, I
Okay.
did see that.
I don't
Um,
remember what I sent to you or what I don't. Anything sports related, I
it's
try.
a lot, folks. I love it, but it's a lot. All right, you're right. I do want to move us on, but before we do, At the Office is sponsored by D&D Meadery, makers of the finest meat in Northeast Ohio. Noah is holding it up here. I have it as well. Twin brothers Derek and Dominic, they turned their German winemaking roots into liquid gold. Centuries of tradition. It's bottled up for you. It's not just mead, guys. It's history reborn. And trust me, that honey wine that we were just holding up, it's the real deal. Here's the best part. If you use code @the-office CLE that you see on your screen there, if you use that code when you order, you'll get an extra 5% off your order. And if you order 2 or more bottles, you'll get this nice little shot glass, obligatory, not dishwasher safe,
No, it is not.
as Noah will tell you because he's not holding it up for a reason. Uh, Order 2 or more bottles, you get that shot glass with your purchase. Visit dndmeadery.org to find a retail location near you, or just buy online and use that code to save 5%. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. Noah, Albert Breer has claimed that the Browns are still really high on Dillon Gabriel. Let's break it down on this edition of I want to hear your thoughts. Let's see the clip first, but I want to hear your thoughts because you and I aren't very high on Dillon Gabriel ourselves, and we're going to talk
Correct.
about this more in the next segment as well. But roll the clip first.
Do you have a rookie you're comfortable putting in there in the backup? And I think they are getting there on Dillon Gabriel. Like I don't think they would start him in week 1, but I don't think given his ability to run the offense, I don't think they would feel uncomfortable putting him in the game in week 1 if that makes sense.
That's a wild take.
Listen, man. I get it from like a macro perspective. I've said this multiple times on the show. I understand the allure of Dillon Gabriel because he's ran so many different offenses in college, because he's done so many great things. He was a Heisman finalist in college. The dude is too short. The dude, we've seen it time and time again where college skill doesn't always exactly translate to the NFL in ways that you would think. Patrick Mahomes was a turnover machine in college. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback on the path to be the GOAT of football. I don't get it. I don't care at this point if he's killing it in the classroom. I don't care anymore if he's doing this, that, and the other. I know we're going to get into the Eagles and the joint camp, but just a little teaser of this before the ad break. He was 6 for 19 today. Sure, he had 2 touchdowns on red zone 7-on-7, but 6 for 19. I don't get it. Do you get it?
No, I don't. Sorry, I was trying to bring up the won't sound effect, but I didn't get it in time. No, I don't get it. We'll talk about it more, like you said, in the topic where we talk Browns Eagles, but he hasn't shown us what maybe we thought he's capable of so far. Like you said, I don't really care how he can read a playbook or how he interacts with coaching staff. If you can't go out there and make the plays, then you can't make the plays. I don't worry about his height insofar as he's 5'11". He's the same height as Russell Wilson. But he doesn't have that playmaking rollout ability that Russ had. I use past tense because that's gone. So what do we have with Dillon Gabriel? I'm not sure. We haven't seen it yet. That said, I am excited that he gets the opportunity to start on Saturday because let's throw him, I mean, literally to the Wolves, considering he's going up against one of the best Ds in the NFL. But let's see what he's made of. Maybe he shines through and we finally see what the coaches are seeing. But so far, man, he should be fourth on the depth chart.
Yeah, I'm not going to muddy the waters into the next topic yet because I'll just go into Dillon Gabriel a little bit more there too. But I agree with what you're saying 100%. I'm glad we're kind of throwing him to the Wolves this week because I want to see what they see in him, apparently. The amount of headlines that are coming out about how much Cleveland loves Dillon Gabriel. And last week we talked a little bit about the trade aspect, or 2 weeks ago, how they had trade offers and all of that. And now I'm sitting here wondering, this isn't on my notes for the show. This isn't anything that I've come up with prior. I wonder if they're trying to get a Dillon Gabriel trade going. And I'm throwing full-blown tinfoil hat on for a second. But we've seen this team do it before where they try to generate value in the trade market.
Yeah.
And I'm not real quick, I'm sorry. I'm not saying this for certain. I probably sound crazy, but they did this with
You
Amari
don't.
Cooper. They did this with Amari Cooper last year. Maybe they got Shador in here. They were like, "Oh, damn, we messed up. We might actually have our guy here." I don't know if this is the case. I'm leaning into my own fandom a little bit when I say that. But maybe that's what's going on here is they're trying to get a market for him early so they don't have to worry about moving on from two veterans and the guy they want to develop into potentially the guy or just be the developmental quarterback for the next couple years. I
Well,
don't know.
they're moving somebody, and I'll say even if he performs poorly Saturday, I don't think that other teams that are hot on him will cool off either. I mean, it's one preseason game. The kid does need to develop, which, let's just jump right into it. I know you probably want me to take a break, but damn it, it's our show. And the advertisers will get their time when we say they get their time. So let's move to previewing next week or this Saturday, I should say, because the Browns take on the Eagles at 1 p.m. It's their second preseason game. And as mentioned, heading in, there's a bit of drama at QB. Shador's hurt. He hurt his oblique in practice. It's an ongoing thing, but it's unlikely that he's going to see much, if any, playing time on Saturday because of that. Just out of caution, I don't think that this is a serious injury. I think you have some footage though to show.
Yeah, I'm pulling it right now. You could talk over it, man. It's just background.
Yeah, I mean, you see him grimacing there as he's throwing, specifically, kind of with that. You can't really see an oblique, but you know what that feels like. Hopefully, it's not something lingering because that will be some of the worst news for Shador and for the Browns, frankly, that we can have. I hope it's just a small thing. But that means that Dillon Gabriel is likely our starter heading into Saturday. As I mentioned during Water Cooler, I think that's a good thing. I think being able to see what he's about, here's your chance, kid. Go out, prove yourself, run the offense. Who knows? If he lights it up more than Shador did, if he goes down on his first drive and looks really good and throws a touchdown, we're having a different conversation on Monday. I don't know that we're going to see that, but he has an opportunity here.
I agree that he has an opportunity here. And I would say that a majority of Cleveland Browns fans agree with us. I threw out this poll on our Twitter account. If you do not follow us on Twitter/X, make sure you check us out at @SignTheOfficeCLE. I said, who's starting Saturday? Not who you want, who you think the Browns will announce as the starter for Saturday's preseason game against the Eagles. Obviously, I posted this yesterday before the injury, but 74% of Browns fans, I believe we had 62 votes. I can't see. I have some technical issues.
Yeah,
Voted.
62 votes, 74% for Gabriel.
But yeah, they voted for Gabriel, and I'm kind of in the same wavelength. I want Shador to earn it. I don't want them to just hand him the position. Do I think he's talented? Yes, but I'm ready to see Dillon go out there and prove me wrong because I don't understand what some of these NFL coaches or NFL execs or whatever are seeing in this guy, aside from the fact that, yes, he was talented in college, but he doesn't have the physical attributes that apply. And I know I already said that, but it's just like, I don't get it. I do not get it, but I want to see it. Prove me wrong, please, because at the end of the day, I just want a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns that are going to be absolutely fantastic.
How talented was he in college, though? I mean, yes, like you said, Heisman finalist, but he bounced around to a lot of teams and he stayed for a very long time. He's not a young guy.
He's not a young guy. I was going to make that joke too when you said, I want to see what the kid can do. And he's only like 2 months younger than me. So
What
I
the
can't really
grown man can do.
I can't call him a kid either because I'm the same age as him. We're both 24 right now. That being said, I'm curious for a lot of other things other than quarterback, especially now that Shador Sanders is, in my mind, 75 to like 85% not playing. Where would you put it first before we move on to other positions?
I would say 90 plus percent. I don't think he's playing. There's no need to play him. I think that's why you brought in Huntley as well, to have a guy that can eat some minutes. I think Dillon Gabriel will get a bulk of it so they can see what he has on tap, and then Huntley will take over the rest. I agree with you, though. Let's move on a little bit and talk some of the other positions. First of all, running back, one of the things that I really want to see is more out of Sampson.
Yeah.
He only had 2 touches, I think, in that first preseason game. I get it. You're not trying to get your back abused early, especially with what's going on with our other unsigned back. But I want to see what he can offer and how explosive he can be. And I want to hear your thoughts on both these things. But news today, our pet KSU project that was Luke Floria has officially been released. So that is done. We talked about maybe seeing if we signed him to the practice squad kind of thing, but it sounds like we're just done with the Floria project.
Yeah, it does sound like we're done with the Floria project, and it's probably unfortunate because he's probably just going to go bounce around the UFL for a little bit after he heals up. Maybe he'll go to Columbus, and then we could still be fans and go to a game or something, get some content out of it. And then you mentioned Dylan Sampson as well. I agree in theory. I still don't think they're going to give him a lot of drives, so I want to see what he does with, max 3 drives in my mind. But on the offensive side, there's one player that comes to my mind that I thought was going to be a highlight of the Cleveland Browns in the last preseason game, and he didn't really do a whole lot. And that's Deontay Johnson. Now, he had
Mm.
limited minutes, but I think highly of this guy. Obviously, I think he is a great wide receiver. It's all about what's going on in between the ears. I want to see him go out there and ball out because there's no reason, despite him having an All Pro, a Pro Bowl selection before, there is no reason that he should be sandbagging the preseason right now because he's on his last leg in the NFL. So I want to see him ball out, even if that means Dillon Gabriel has to target him 52 times because he's the only receiver he can see over the line. Pause. That was petty.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect there. I think all accounts is, I mean, he has the tool set to be a great wide receiver. He was a great wide receiver. He was a
Yeah.
1,000-yard receiver at Carolina. The question, like you said, it's all between the ears. So does he need to go out and prove himself on the field? I don't think so. I think he needs to be a steady locker room guy and not, be refusing to go play in the cold kind of situation. So I don't know that we need to see a lot from him in a preseason matchup. We
See,
know what he can do.
I disagree because he's not on that level anymore. He was 4 years ago. Deshaun Watson was also good 4 years ago. Would you say that he shouldn't play in a preseason game right now with the output he's put on the field the last couple of years?
I don't think he should play in a preseason game for other reasons. But I get what you're saying. Was it 4 years ago, though?
It was 21 or 22, dude. It was a pretty long time ago. He bounced around to
He was with
Carolina.
Carolina in 24, and that's when he was a 1,000-yard receiver.
No, he was not a 1,000-yard receiver with Carolina, was he?
Yeah, because he wasn't. He was with Pittsburgh from 19 to 23. By the way, wide receivers out there, if you want to destroy your career, go to Pittsburgh.
You're wrong. You're wrong. 2021 was his big year. He had 1,161 yards for Pittsburgh. Followed that up with 882 for Pittsburgh, 717 for Pittsburgh,
You
and
know
then
what it
went
was?
to Carolina and caught 350 yards.
Carolina, I think he was on his way. to that. Like he was looking really good for Carolina through the first, I want to say 6 games, although I might be wrong on that. And then all the shit went downhill and he started bouncing around.
Yeah, he did. I do remember that he looked like he was going on a good trajectory.
My point is, he had the skills just a year ago.
So did Deshaun Watson, and that's
not a year ago.
Well, 2 years ago, if you want to look at the Ravens game. We're getting into semantics.
Now-
I won't get that deep. I don't think he has the right to sandbag it or not make some plays. I think he should play a couple drives, go out there and show that he deserves to be the second to third receiver on this team, because right now, without the trade that you really desperately want, because you bring it up at least once an episode, he's gonna have that role. There's no one more talented than him on this roster.
We are bringing in a wide receiver. I'm telling you.
No, they're not. It's not a win now year. They
They're
have a
signing-
guy they
I'm not
really
saying it's
believe in.
flashy or big, but they're signing somebody.
Eric, we're at the second preseason game, man. When's it happening?
Mark my words. They're signing a wide receiver.
I
All right.
will let's put dumplings on it, dude.
Listen.
Wait, no.
No.
Put the money
Hold
where
on.
your
No,
mouth
it's
is.
nothing to do with the bet. What I was gonna say is we need to pause all bets because I can't remember them all, and we're not doing a very good job of writing them down.
Well, John's off the show now, so it doesn't matter in my book. I'm opening this up right now. I'm going to put bets as the title. The first bet, Browns get a receiver before week 1. Shake, shake, shake.
I didn't say before week 1. I said they were gonna hire a guy. Let's say by week 4.
Browns add receiver.
Any receiver.
Any receiver. You're going to talk about them signing some practice squad guy and try
I
to
said
use
they're
him
going to
against-
sign a guy.
Okay, well, now we're
A receiver that will play in a game. How about that?
receiver that will play meaningful minutes in a game.
Sure.
Meaningful minutes in a game. Sorry to the viewers, I'm just typing this out right now. Shake,
One
shake, shake.
order of dumplings. Shake, shake, shake.
Shout out LJ Shanghai. Let's get back to this preseason game that the Guardians. Jesus, I just got the notification we lost 13-4 tonight. Let's get back to this. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
seeing some tweets about maybe it's time to pitch Austin Hedges like they do when we get blown out. Back to the Browns and Eagles preseason game, though. Did you see any of the headlines out of the first joint practice today? Because I got something I'm really excited for.
Well, you're really excited. Let's hear it.
The Cleveland Browns defense ate alive the Super Bowl champions. The Eagles offense was struggling all day. So what do I want to see in this game? I want to see this defense continue to be dominant. I want to see this secondary prove that they are a good secondary without Martin Emerson. And I want to see this D-line feast, whether it be the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the practice squad, the UFL team, the CFL team, you name it, I want them to eat on Saturday.
That reminds me, you need to write one more bet in that little bet book of yours.
Yep.
And that is with Tim, also dumplings, which since Tim's in Washington, it's going to just have to be a $10 Venmo kind of thing. But I said that the Browns would win more than 5 games. He said less than that. I think he has 5 or under. I have 5 or more. He has 4 or less, maybe. I don't
think
know.
it's either 5 or 6. So I just
Tim
wrote 5
confirm that at some
6.
point. But my point is, this defense, I'm telling you, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the feeling is. Maybe I'm a dumb Browns fan because I'm normally more pessimistic going into a season.
Yeah.
But I feel good for some reason.
Eric, we flipped roles, brother. I am feeling
did.
very pessimistic. Last year I was saying 17-0, even with all the red flags popping up. It was like a bad girlfriend. And now I'm just over it. And you're like, wait a second, we're gonna pull off some wins that we might not expect here.
Yeah, I don't know. When I look at the schedule, though, I go, maybe not, because it is a tough schedule. By the
first
way,
6 games is a gauntlet, bro.
It is
It's
a gauntlet. Speaking of Sanders getting injured, I almost said interviewed. Kind of cool that he got a ride to the locker room by Jalen Hurts on the golf cart. I thought that was neat. Just something you don't see super often. Cornerback Miles Harden also had an interception.
Yeah, Hurts threw 3 picks at practice today. That's what I'm saying, man. It's looking deadly.
Yeah, I just didn't the Eagles have an O lineman go down too?
Yes, they did. It's like a day to day. He should be back by week 1, but yes, they are down an offensive lineman right now. Something I wanted to mention too, real quick. You brought up Shador, and I just thought about this. I know you had a very busy day at work. I was on the internet a little bit. I was also listening to sports talk as I do without my, typical working routine. And there were a lot of people, and myself too. I made a joke, I threw it out there, that were really upset without thinking about it that Tyler Huntley was getting reps before Shador Sanders. And a lot of the reporters were saying stuff like that too. Like, I can't make this up. Why is Huntley in? And at first I was like, what are we doing? Did he do something stupid or something that the team views as stupid and this is punishment? And then I thought, no, the last time that this happened, he was hurt and he was day to day with the throwing shoulder stuff. Do you blame the overreaction at all, or do you think it's just a byproduct of the hype?
I think it's a byproduct of the hype a little bit. Here's the reality. Stefanski and co should be able to go out and run these practices as they see fit. We've talked about it. It's no indication of a final roster spot. It's no indication of how they feel on certain players. Yes, historically you give certain guys certain reps, etc. Obviously Flacco leading the offense indicates pretty well that he's going to be the guy in week 1, right?
Right.
But we're reading too much into it. I'm not saying we should have this as members of the media ourselves, but I almost wish more practices were closed because they take these storylines and they just run with it, make it a big news headline because they want clicks at the end of the day. I don't buy into that, honestly.
Yeah, I think it also gets a little complicated when you have a pre-practice presser. So, of course, Stefanski's talking about good rep share and not really talking about Shador not getting reps. So everybody's confused until we talk at the end of it. You know what I mean? When we talk at the end and the coach comes out and says what actually went down.
Yeah. What else looking forward to for the preseason game? We're not getting together for this one. Noah and I almost booked our trip to Philly to see it live and in color, and
Which
then
is
he backed out on me.
funny. One of my Eagles friends from college, I hit him up about coming over for the game once we decided it wasn't a feasible plan for a preseason game on a Saturday at 1 p.m., we being me, and said, dude, what if we went to the game? So I almost had another person trying to goat me into going to the game. But no, we won't be together. I want to hit on one last little thing that I hit on last
Real,
week
real quick
going into
before you
this
move
week.
on, I'll just say that look for us potentially in Philly later this year. I'm not counting out maybe a little road trip to a game where we could actually wear Philly gear and not get harassed the whole time.
I'm
Uh,
not wearing
you wouldn't
anything other
wear
than nope.
really?
Cleveland, period. Yeah, no.
I don't know,
You
traveling to
would?
another stadium when you're not playing the team. I don't have hate for Philly. I don't like them,
I just
but
would I would wear a neutral outfit. Like when I went to the Bills Patriots game back that Snow Bowl where Mac Jones had like 100 yards, I just wore like blue and red gear because both teams wore blue and red. I didn't care. I was just there to watch football, man.
no, that's fair. I wouldn't mind putting on like a Hertz jersey though. Like that doesn't bother me.
I was a
Anyway,
believer in Hurts going into his NFL career. Last thing I want to get into though, Browns betting lines for this preseason game, and obviously we will grow upon this as there's more things to bet on in the NFL regular season. Erik and I have talked about doing head-to-head parlays and keeping a record and whatnot. We've mentioned that on the show before.
your bet
Browns,
hit, by the way. Let's update from last week real quick because your bet hit, mine didn't when it came to the
yes, my
Browns.
bet hit. Well, when we were talking about it on the show last, they didn't have any of the prop bets out for Shador yet. I did put money in for Shador to score 2 touchdowns, in which he did, and I won some money, which was
To throw,
awesome.
yeah. I had
Yeah,
Shador rushing for a touchdown. Guys, they're on like the 4 yard line. Perfect. First of all, why we're not rolling him out more anyway, we should be. But perfect opportunity. He didn't do it. Lost me. Well, it was $10, but I think he would have paid like 150 or something like that.
Right. Getting into the lines, the Browns, if you take a money line straight up, right now they are at plus 172. They are getting 3.5 points, meaning Eagles are 3.5 point favorites. The best odds bet that I could find as of right now is Browns plus 950 to win by 14 plus. There were lines, like I said, that came out for Shador Sanders last week. I wonder if they're going to do the same for Dillon Gabriel this week,
2
solely
plus
because
picks.
2+ picks is crazy. I wonder if they are going to come out with something for Dillon Gabriel this week, just because I'm assuming they did a lot of really good money off of the last preseason
Well,
game.
once they name him, yeah, they just can't put it in because he's not named a
Right.
starter, you know?
Right. So we'll see. But as of right now, that's what we got in terms of the betting landscape. It seems like right now the odds are best on FanDuel over DraftKings. Keep an eye out, play the best book, gamble responsibly.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned because we're talking more. I was going to say Browns football. I paused our break. So we're not talking Browns football. We are talking more football, though. We're going to talk our other favorite team, Ohio State, as well as the little guards. Stay tuned after this. Welcome back to The Office. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on YouTube and check us out on our socials. All of our socials are the @ The Office CLE, so you can find us there. And make sure that you get in on the action and get some At The Office merch. We've got new styles floating around. Noah was sending me some designs today. There's stuff you could buy now, but head on over to attheofficecle.com. That's attheofficecle.com, where you can find the gear from your favorite show. All right, Noah. Now that we're back in the right place, because I did move our ad break around a little bit, I want to talk Ohio State because they are taking on a pretty big team in week 1, the #1 Texas Longhorns. But what I want to talk to you about is the fact that they're ranked 3rd behind Texas at 1, Penn State at 2, Ohio State is coming in at 3. I want to hear your thoughts, but first of all, I'm a little speechless, if I'm being honest. And as you know me, that doesn't happen often for a guy that's hosting a sports show with you. Let me start with Texas. First of all, let me start with this. New rule. I'm the commissioner here. New rule. The team that won the national championship is ranked #1 to start the season next year.
So I'm going to cut you off
Period.
already because you're going to start doing this Ohio State thing that I can't stand.
Okay, as
That
the
we do.
biggest Browns guy that does this, but go on.
Okay.
You're not a real
but
Buckeye fan, but go on.
I'm a Buckeye fan. It's not my
You might
number
as well
one
move up to
team.
Michigan.
Okay, you're just being
Go on,
salty
though.
now because you're wrong. You're wrong because half the
This
team
is an
left.
opinion take.
Half the team left. Of course they fell down.
I don't care if
They're
the whole
still
fucking
third,
team
Erik.
left. If you win a national championship, I'm not
It's
saying
not
for
the
Ohio
same
State.
team.
I don't care who it is. If you win a national championship, you're ranked 1. Guess what? They play a pretty damn good team in Texas on week 1. If they lose, week 2, they're not #1 anymore. It's pretty simple.
I disagree because there's a whole new world compared to what it used to look like with money, with how much money is being invested in these rosters in college football.
Including Ohio State.
Not compared to Penn State and Texas this year.
Have you, first of all, do you believe in Vegas?
Do I believe
Because
in Vegas?
Ohio State has opened up as the favorites with the Vegas betting line.
That's fantastic. It doesn't do anything for me, though. I understand the logic for the AP poll to have Texas #1, Penn State #2. They've gone all in for this season, just as Ohio State went all in for last season.
Let me
Go
start
ahead.
with Texas first. You have a kid, Arch Manning, who is so lauded before doing anything. He started 2 games for Texas. I'm not saying the kid's not good at all. He is a Manning that's had private coaching his entire life. But we haven't seen him under pressure from a linebacker from Mid-Ohio coming after his ass. We just haven't seen that yet. What have they done to prove that they should be #1?
Well, I mean, first of all, they were a playoff team. It's also the additions to the roster. You're talking about Arch Manning, the most hyped up prospect since
Who's
Andrew
the best
Luck,
player in college football?
the best player in college football right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue as an Ohio State fan, Jeremiah Smith.
Exactly. We have the best player on our team. Go on, though.
You're talking wide receiver, though. There's only so much. Anyway, I understand why we're ranked this way. I understand why Buckeye fans are a little upset about it, considering we won a national
I love
championship.
it, but go on.
But there's so many other factors in play here. We didn't beat Michigan last year. We were 10-2, I believe, during the regular season. It makes sense to me why we're ranked here. And you're so upset about the preseason number. If they
I'm not
beat
upset.
Texas, you seem pretty
It's
upset,
the
Erik.
principle of it. I actually love when we're ranked lower because I think we have a chip on our shoulder, but it's the principle. They should be ranked higher, but go on.
So I mean, I agree. I just, if they beat Texas in week 1, the odds are they jump up to 1, maybe 2, and they put Penn State at
1.
1.
No.
And then we're doing the same thing anyway. We don't even know who the quarterback is yet. Have you been paying attention to that battle at all?
I have. It was interesting because Day characterized it as the battle between. So we're talking about Lincoln and
Keinholz and Julian Sayin, yeah.
yeah,
Lincoln Keinholz.
saying, and he categorized it as the same battle between Joe Burrow and what's his
Dwayne
name?
Haskins.
Haskins, yeah,
Rest in peace.
Which is interesting because those were two quarterbacks, hell of a talent. I hope it's Sayin personally, and I will say I have a little bit of negative feeling towards Lincoln just from that. Was it not Rose Bowl, whatever that bowl was, where it wasn't his fault at all. Don't get me wrong. But either way, I think we'll be pretty okay at quarterback. When you have Jeremiah Smith, by the way, you have a guy where you throw it down there. He's down there somewhere. It's fine.
You have a fantastic receiving core. I'll go to the receiving core in a second. I'll use that as my transition and then kick it back to you. But between Sayin and Keinholz, I lean towards Sayin because of, honestly, the hype a little bit. He was
Agreed.
from Alabama, elite 5-star. Keinholz has also been here a little bit longer, though. He has that veteran aura to him, so I get the competition being close. It's going down on the wire. Ryan Day said he's hoping to name a starter next week, so maybe that'll be a talking point on either our Monday or our Wednesday show for what's going on, because we finally have a Buckeye starter that we can rally behind. You're totally right, though. When you have a receiver like Carnell Tate, like really Jeremiah Smith, I'm just naming off the receiving room, it gets pretty easy to be the quarterback sometimes. And I think that's a knock on a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks going into the NFL. But in terms of us as Buckeye fans and not worried about what happens to them after, unless they're wearing brown and orange, I'm okay with it, man. I think both of these kids have a real shot to shine no matter what. There's been some awesome wide receivers stepping up into bigger roles at camp and are looking good. So we might have a third that could turn into a 2 once Tate goes to the draft next year. I'm really excited to see what happens with the Buckeyes, especially going into that week. Technically, it's week 0, right? The Texas game.
Do they call it week 0?
They do in the video games.
No, I don't think so. I think that's week 1.
Anyway, regardless, the early matchup against Texas.
You forgot something, by the way. Who's the number 2 player in the country?
Oh,
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs. My mind went blank. I kept wanting to say Julian Sayin, but a safety for some reason. Anyway.
Right. My point is you have the best player on offense in the country. You have the best player on defense in the country. And you have pedigree. This is what's most important. Despite roster turnover, I think they brought back like 5. What is it? 5 on offense. Something like that. It wasn't a ton, right?
Yeah.
My point is you have pedigree. You have guys on the team, whether it's 5, 10, 1, that have won a national championship. Not just won a national championship, but knows what it takes to go within that expanded playoff and have to win back-to-back-to-back-to-back games. You have that now. You know who doesn't have that? Texas. You know who doesn't have that? Penn State. Oh, by the way, you know what else they don't have? Coaches that have won one. I'm not saying these aren't good programs. Not at all. But you have a guy at Penn State who's a fraud. He's a bald fraud. I'll stand on that till the day I die. James Franklin should win more football games. And I can't wait to hear the excuses at the podium when he loses twice in the regular season and loses again in the playoffs. The interesting thing is the regular season's less important now because almost everybody gets in. You have 2 losses to Ohio State and USC, just as an example, or Ohio State and Oregon. I forget what their schedule looks like. That's okay now, and you can still make the playoff. Obviously, Ohio State did it last year. But until he wins a big game, he'll always be a mediocre coach.
So I'm glad you like Ohio State, Erik, and I'm with you. I like Ohio State too. But I hate going down that path of pedigree and this, that, and the third. This team is not proven again.
You are
There's
such a
no
hypocrite.
why.
Who's the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Mike Tomlin.
And you think he's terrible, but you back Penn State's coach?
I never said I was backing Penn State's coach.
I saw your
did not-
faces as I was saying James Franklin's a fraud.
because I've heard you do the James Franklin rant.
It's
14
true.
different times. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean it can't be the year, just like it could be the year that Ryan Day finally decides to put, and win and beat Michigan, dude. Like
Well, that's happening.
Well, of course you think that because that's what we do as Ohio State fans is we just think we're tough shit. And then if we end up losing games this year, we're going to act like, oh, it was just a fluke. It just frustrates me.
How do you think they're going to finish?
How do I think they're going to finish? I think it's debatable right now.
Because I'm not saying that we're going to win a national championship. I've never said that. In fact, I've gone on
heard you say
record.
that before.
No, I've gone on record as saying that I think it's very unlikely that in this expanded era that a team will go back to back. I don't think that's likely at all anymore. And I followed that up with a jokingly, but Ohio State will be the team to do it. But I think it's very tough nowadays to do that. But where do you think this team ends? I mean, their ceiling is still national championship in my mind.
And their floor could be 9-3, 8-4. We don't know
No
what's going on.
chance.
You don't think so, Erik?
When's the
The
last
Big
time
Ten
they
is-
lost 4 games, Noah?
We don't know
No,
who
no,
the
no, 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 no.
quarterback is.
No. You say that pedigree doesn't matter, but tell me the last time Ohio State lost 4 games. It was Luke Fickell in the year after Tressel was fired. That doesn't count. That's
Fair.
the only time before Tressel that the Buckeyes have lost 4 games. That's not going to happen.
I don't want to sit on here and act like I'm being a hater. I just want
You sound like one.
it's because I can't stand it sounds like we're Steelers fans and we're on our high horse when we talk about Ohio State like that. I already played that comment, by the way.
Barry. Well, I didn't.
I just hate being on our high horse. Like, let's just be a little humble. Let's see what happens with this quarterback competition before we start screaming national championship. We're going to beat Michigan. We should be number 1. Blah, 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 blah. Just
Noah.
take a break.
Your Cleveland is oozing out.
That's fine.
We are perpetual losers in this city, and we have that mentality, minus the Cavs. Thank you, LeBron. And it's showing here. You can be proud
No.
and think your team's going to win. It's not a Pittsburgh thing, who, by the way, have the most Super Bowls in history. I'm not
the
a
most
Steelers fan.
championships, though.
Did the Patriots surpass them?
Nope, the Browns did when they enacted all
Okay.
the AAF.
Okay, fair enough. Go Brownies. You get my point, though. There's a reason that people are excited for the Buckeyes. And I think you're viewing it as a Browns fan. You need to set that aside and view it through the lens of a Buckeye fan.
It
If
doesn't
anything,
do
we have
anything for me,
underachieved
though.
in the last 10 years.
Right. So that should maybe humble you a little bit instead of saying
And
we
we
should be
still
ranked
have
number
2
1 preseason.
natties. Do you know how
Okay.
many Texas has in that time period? 0. Do you know how many Penn State has in that time period? 0.
That's great, man. So Cleveland has a ring in the last 10 years. Well, yeah, 10 years still. That
Barely,
doesn't-
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The things change. All I'm saying is I'm tempering my own expectations. I hope we don't do the thing where we're just on our high horse. I know we are, but that's what makes Ohio State fans, to me, insufferable. And I hate being grouped into that larger bubble of let's temper our expectations a little bit before we just
But-
go.
there's a standard. And we've talked about it before when it was me, you, and John. The standard every year is beat Michigan, number one. Obviously, we need to get back to doing that, but that's number one. Compete for a Big Ten championship and compete for a national championship. That is the standard. Anything less than that is a failure. So, yeah, we have high expectations, as we should. Like, I don't get where you think we shouldn't have those high expectations, because
We just won a
although
national
lofty,
championship. We lost so many players, Eric, to think that this year, this season, is the back-to-back season. I hope I'm proven wrong.
who's the last back-to-back? LSU?
I
They lost Joe
think so.
Burrow, and they won again. Is that right? That doesn't sound right in my head, but
No.
Joe didn't win
Last
two.
national. No, he didn't. He won the one and then went college football national championship history. Georgia in 22-21.
Georgia, that's right. Georgia. Based on defense with them, obviously. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're going to know really soon, week one, what this team's about, what Texas is about, frankly. My point here is we kind of got off on a tangent on Ohio State football. My point, I'm not talking Ohio State. This is not the homer take. I'm saying anybody who won a national championship, in my opinion, the next year in the first poll should be number one. If they lose immediately, drop them to 25. I don't care, but they won the Natty.
See, I disagree because it's AP and there's perspective and what's going on involved. If you lose 22 out of your 22 starters after winning a national championship, you shouldn't be ranked number one to start the new season. That's where we just differ in opinions, I guess.
What was I'm curious, the AP poll last year, 2024, let's see. You had Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Oregon at 3, Texas at 4. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds right, just from what I remember.
Yeah,
Georgia,
listen,
Ohio State, Oregon. Yep.
I'll say that I agree with you in that for the most part, the poll, it's semantics at a certain point that I think Ohio State or any team that wins a Natty should be ranked number one to start the season. The team that's most interesting in the top 10 to me, though, well, I want to hear your take first. Who do you think's most interesting in that top 10?
I got to re-pull it back up real quick now because I, of
I'll,
course,
I'll give you Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Miami.
Miami, just because it's ACC and they lost Cam Ward. So that would be my first knee-jerk. What's yours?
For me, it's Clemson. Because I think they're actually dead on with that team. I think Clemson's going to be a very good football team again this year. I hate to say it. These are not my words. These are my dad's words. Dabo's a douche. But he is a very good coach, and I think they'll be a very good coached football team. Sorry, Maddie, who is a Clemson alumni. That's family. But I think that I think they'll surprise a lot of people. They're in there at 4. And I think people initially said, that's crazy, Clemson at 4, considering how last couple seasons have gone. But they've got some good recruits in there, man. And I think they're going to surprise some people.
No, that's why I was thinking of it in the negative light, like someone who shouldn't be up there. But logically with the recruiting and just thinking of, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite now, but because they are a blue chip-esque program, they are thought of highly. Hearing them in the top 10 doesn't make me scratch my head as much as a Miami does in current day and age. I know they used to be such a powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call them a blue chip, but yes, they beat us twice.
Upper echelon, maybe blue chip. It is like the cream of the cream of the cream of the crop. So,
blue
but
chip
you get what I'm saying.
Is like 4 teams. It's Ohio State. It's probably the team up north. It's Texas. It's Notre Dame, and it's USC. I think those are the blue chip programs in the country. Alabama, I forgot them.
Well, yeah, give or
Maybe
take now.
Georgia.
Yeah, I would put Georgia above USC, honestly, but that's another debate for another day, probably.
All right, I do want to move us on. I will say I am really excited about week one. I'll be in the Outer Banks for that game. We're leaving early to make sure we're there to watch it somewhere good with sound, etc. And we're doing a show still that week because, sorry, Dylan Northrup's Hey Guys has been up for about 5 minutes.
It wasn't
We're,
showing on my end. My bad.
Weird. No, you're good. We're doing a show that week because I want to talk reaction no matter which way it goes in week one. Either I'm going to say, okay, maybe we should have been ranked third, or I'm going to say, Noah, eat shit. I was right. We should be number one, and we're going to be next week. Time will tell, but I am excited and nervous for that game.
For sure. Me too. I am excited. I'm just excited football is back, man. I'm ready to see what happens with the Brownies. I'm ready to see what happens with the Buckeyes. I'm ready to go to some high school games with you this season. I'm just ready for football. I miss it like I can't even think of an analogy right now.
I know I was putting together content ideas in a shared note for Noah and I about what we'll be doing moving forward show wise and getting other content. And it's so revolved around football, occasional Friday Night Lights game of the week that you and I are going to attend and make content for, occasional shows from Unilot where we're going around, we're doing a live show to pregame the game, but then going around and grabbing content and doing some giveaways. Be tuned for that, or stay tuned for that. And then a Monday show breaking down how the Browns and Buckeyes did, going down to a Buckeye game. Everything that we kind of have planned out revolves around football, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm all here for it. I can't wait. Football is the bread and butter, the cream of the crop to me. So I'm ready for the September to February season because it is my favorite time of the year.
All right, you want to talk guards a little bit before we get out of here?
I would love to talk some guards ball, even though the game today was depressing. Yes.
The game was depressing. They lost 13-2, 4, 13-4. 13-4. I'm glad I was busy and did not get a chance to watch it because that's atrocious. But I want to focus on one Travis Bazzana.
You were there.
I know. I just fumbled the word for sure. I want to focus on Travis Bazzana, our second baseman from down under. That's right. He is an Aussie. Welcome back to Cleveland. Obviously, the first time around for an Aussie was Dellavedova. Maybe not first ever, but notable. But I want to talk about him because he just got called up to AAA. And I'm curious, do you think we're going to see him in the show before the year's out?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting question, and I want to throw out the graphic for my boy real quick that the MILB posted when he moved from my favorite minor league team, the Rubber Ducks, to the Columbus Clippers. I think there's a decent chance just because of the roster expansion rules that happen at the end of the year and that not counting towards his major league clock starting. They did this with Bo Naylor the year before Bo actually got called up. He was on the expanded roster and did nothing but was still there. So I could see them calling him up in that role, and I'm not comparing him to Bo Naylor. He's a better prospect than Bo was. He was the first overall pick. Bo was at the end of the first round. So I could see him getting called up and playing some time, maybe even in this year, just for the sake of doing it, because it doesn't really cost the front office anything for doing so. But I don't know if I would bet money on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you what I really like about the kid, and that is that he's extremely patient at the plate. I think he garnered 3 walks in his debut in AAA.
Yeah. Give him a shout out real quick, too, because he did have an RBI single to start the game today in Columbus as well. But yes, you're correct. 3 walks.
I think why not bring him up and see what he can do? I mean, Brian Rocchio is the guy right now at second base.
He's been playing some good ball. Give him some credit, to be fair.
He's all right. He's still batting like 219. I mean, why not throw in a guy? Listen, I like taking a cautious, measured approach. Let's see what he does in AAA for a little bit. But if he continues to be patient at the plate and develop those abilities, I don't see why we wouldn't try it. He was in AA in 51 games. He was hitting 256 with 5 homers. Post-injury, he was 265, 7 doubles, 1 home run.
And I want to throw that in there. Two, the injury, the fact that he came back from the injury, hit the ground running, and got himself called up in such short time.
Yeah.
More applause to what some people were nervous about because some of the other prospects that were drafted after him are already in the show. He's been doing perfectly fine. He's been doing good. I'm really happy with his output so far.
Yeah, I'll say I do think it's more likely we see him in 2026. But if he lights it up through September in Columbus, I'm not ruling it out. I think we
Neither
could
am
see him.
Neither am I, and never doubt where we're at in the season too. Tonight was ugly, but the Guardians have been on fire as of late, so they could go out there, make some noise, maybe make a wild card, maybe catch up to the Tigers. I want to ask. I know we talk about it every week. What's the heat check feeling like? Do you feel like we could catch the Tigers? Do you feel like we're going to make a wild card spot?
Yes and no. Through post All-Star break, as we've gone on this run, if I'm not mistaken, we've been, if not the best bullpen in, take out today probably, but if not the best bullpen in baseball, close to it. But when we're bad, we're really bad. Dropping to the White Sox and now to the Marlins today, those are not good teams to drop games to, especially at an 11-4 run line. That happens in sports and it happens in baseball, especially. It's a long season.
Give the Marlins some credit though; they have been hot like us. I just want to put that out there that we've had worse losses this season. Is all I'm saying.
And we are looking good. I mean, we were at the game together yesterday. They look like a good team. Back-to-back home runs to start off the first inning, bottom of the first, with J-Ram and then Manzardo.
Yep,
Then J-Ram to win it in the eighth, bottom of the eighth. They look like a good club. They have good pitching. Cade Smith coming out in that closer role is working, but they're not playing super good ball clubs right now. That's a benefit. I hope they continue, but yeah, I can see us pushing because Detroit has looked the opposite. They haven't looked that good.
they've been tanking downwards, and that's why I feel like we can catch them still. And I feel good about our wild card chances despite the ugly loss today. So I'm feeling warm as ever about the Cleveland Guardians, especially with to tie it back to the actual title topic, how good some of the prospects have been doing. CJ Kafis, who we talked about getting called up to the show last week, had his first home run. He's had some good hits. And now we have Bazzana in Columbus, just footsteps away from being an actual Cleveland Guardian.
We just
Things are trending the right way.
The problem is the days are getting shorter.
Yeah.
The Mariners are 67 and 53, Astros 68 and 53. So one of those two teams we would be competing with for a wild card, and we're still 6.5 games back from the Tigers. That's a good margin when there's not a lot of baseball left. Like, the time is now. We can't be dropping games to the White Sox if we do want to catch them.
No,
Catch the Tigers.
I'm with you, and we will keep it rolling and see what happens. This team has been hot. They are losing games here and there, but they're winning series, and that's all you can really ask for, especially with how down the season seemed after the gambling investigations came out. Real quick, we don't have to dive into it super hard. I know we're at the end of the show, but did you see that the Ohio Gambling Authority is now involved with this whole investigation as well? So it is really not looking good for Luis Ortiz and
Did
Emmanuel
not
Clase.
see that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking a little yesterday. I'm curious what happens because it came out that Class A had taken out loans based on future earnings.
Yeah.
And obviously now he's facing all of this.
And will not make those for future earnings, correct?
It begs so many questions. Like, was he in trouble for some reason? Financially, loan sharks, was he trying to dig himself out of a hole? Like, there's so many things that I'm so curious about. I will say, where's Shohei's interpreter when you need him, though? Because the more I think about that, Ohtani was betting, right? Like, I have no doubt in my mind that he was betting, and that guy took the fall for him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that before on the show as well, that I think that Ohtani got the out, and it's going to potentially generate a bigger problem for Major League Baseball. But we'll see in due time how this all plays out. Obviously, I'd rather Emmanuel Clase be on our team, and for that matter, Luis Ortiz too, because he was having a solid season by all means. Uh,
But that's
but
my
I would
point. Like,
just put it at no at this point.
if MLB swept Otani under the rug, and then they're coming after Clase and Ortiz, that has other problems. Like, I think the Players Association will have some issues there where you can't rules for me, not for thee kind of situation. Just because he's the face of baseball, I think they
But
open that back up bigger.
then you get into a sticky situation on the other hand of, can you prove that Otani was actually better? And you go down a rabbit hole that the billionaires are probably going to beat the millionaire players. And I don't know. It's messy. Like I said weeks ago on the show, it's going to get messy if this continues to go towards the route that it's looking. I mean, you have a big name, the biggest named closer in baseball, potentially done for his career because of betting. And you could tie that every which way and point fingers every which way as to what could have caused that or spurred it to become a bigger problem in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's interesting. I'm a big fan of let players bet as long as it's not on themselves or their own teams or the game that they're playing in. If Clase wanted to bet on the Dodgers, I'm fine with that. When we're not playing the Dodgers, I think they should free them a little more in that respect. But obviously, these guys are trying to make more money. What they're doing with their millions of dollars that they need more, whether it's greed or some other larger issue, obviously needs to be studied because two players from one team. I mean, here's what I want to know, honestly. You have guys in baseball that, like, they have agents, they have advisors, they have accountants. Did they talk to nobody and said, like, don't be a like, nobody's in their life saying don't be a moron, you're gonna get caught?
Yeah, but have you ever been told not to do something and you still do it in your life? I'm just playing devil's advocate when I say that. I agree with you though, E. It's a slippery slope. It's a sticky situation. You know what I mean? And you would
It's a
think that people would
fuzzy
think better.
mudwick.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whatever.
I just made that up. All right, let's get out of here. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
Nah, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Let's go Brownies here on Saturday. Hopefully, Dillon Gabriel plays. It's still kind of up in the air because of his hamstring, but time will tell, and I'm ready to see it.
I'm excited. We're going to break it down for you on Monday, so stay tuned for that. But thank you for joining us at The Office, sponsored by D&D Meadery. Don't forget to subscribe or hit the download button if you're listening to the audio-only version of our show, and check us out on all of our socials. It's the @ The Office CLE. The debate never ends, but the show does for now. We'll see you next time.